Good morning, grade 10s, and welcome back to day 2 with tree diagrams. And today we're going to look at what are all the possible outcomes when you first throw a dice, then flip a coin, and then flip another coin. Okay, so dice, coin, coin. Okay, and the question is draw a tree diagram to represent all the possible outcomes when throwing a dice and then flipping two coins. Happening is a dice that is thrown. So you're going to write dice. You don't have to always write the headings. You'll see that the coins that I didn't add it, but you can just for your own sake if you want to just keep your things neat. So you're going to write dice, and all the possible outcomes for a dice is 1. You can either roll a 1 or a 2 or a 3 or a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, a 5 or a 6. It's not that hard, Mrs. Townsend. Okay, so 1 to 6. All right. Okay, then after that, you are going to flip a coin, which has the outcomes of a heads or a tails. So linked to each and every previous outcome from the previous event, you're going to list heads, tails, like I've shown you. Okay, so number 1, you can either throw a 1 heads or a 1 tails, 2 heads or a 2 tails, 3 heads or a 3 tails, etc., etc. Event that was happening, which was another coin. So you're going to have 1 heads and then linked to each and every previous outcome. Again, you're going to have a little branch that goes heads, tails, heads, tails, heads, tails. And that is linked again to each and every previous outcome. List all your possible outcomes. Remember, if without even counting there, if you had 6 here and 2 here and 2 over there, how many possible outcomes altogether? 6 times 2 times 2, which gives you 24 outcomes. Okay, maybe use your highlighter to make sure that you capture all of your outcomes. So you can either throw a 1, a heads, or a heads. A 1, a heads, or a tails. A 1, a tail and a heads. A 1, a tail and a tail. Then we go to the 2. 2, a heads and a heads. 2, a heads and a tail. 2, a tail and a heads. 2, a tail and a tail. 3 heads, heads. 3 heads, tail. 3 and then a tail first and then a heads. 3 tail, tail. 4 heads, heads. 4 heads, tail. 4 tail, heads. And 4 tail, tail. Or you can throw 5 heads, heads. Almost done. 5 heads, tail. 5 tail, heads. Or a 5 tail, tail. Or a 6 heads, head. 6 heads, tail. 6 tail, heads. And lastly, 6 tail, tail. Okay, and I've captured them all over here by the outcomes as well. And I want you to try and do these yourself, and then we will mark them tomorrow together. Okay, so question number 1 is how many outcomes are there altogether? I think we already said there were 24. Okay, what is the probability of throwing an even number on the dice followed by either a double heads or a double tail? So you need to go and look for all the even numbers like 2, 4, 6. Those are the only even numbers, followed by either a heads, heads or a tail, tail. So please remember, it's the favorable outcomes out of the total number of outcomes. Okay, so how many are those coming across there? Out of 36 always. Okay, sorry, sorry, not out of 36. Out of 6 times 2 is 12 times 2 is 24, out of 24. Okay, because there's 24 possible outcomes. Number 3, calculate the probability of throwing an even number followed by either a heads or a tails. Okay, calculate the probability of throwing an even number followed by either heads or a tails, and then either heads or tails again. So followed by anything. What is the probability of throwing an even number? So even numbers are 2, 4s, and 6s, followed by anything. So you include anything that has a 2, a 4, and a 6 in front of it. Okay. Number 3, look at me now again. 1, 2, 3, 3. Okay, for number 3, calculate the probability of throwing any number followed by a tail head. So very important, the order there must be tail heads. So any number with a TH after that. Okay, go and count them. And the last one, what is the probability of throwing any number followed by a HT? Okay, so you're going to count any number in front, doesn't matter, with an HT at the back. Okay, and that is the amount out of 24, because there's 24 possible outcomes. Okay, thank you for watching. Please do these questions. Don't know what's wrong with my numbering. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And please do them in your book. Thanks, grade 10s. Have a lovely day. Bye.